It's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing that after 40 years, this theater is still here. The Stephenville Theatre Festival is still here. And more importantly, my dear friends, that you're all still here. Still coming back. For those of you here tonight to whom I was never formally introduced to, my name is Maxim Mazumdar. I spent my life as an actor, writer, director, dreamer. For 10 years, I was the artistic director of this very festival. After touring my play Oscar Remembered for 2 years, I found myself in Stephenville, a rural community on Newfoundland's west coast, adjudicating the Provincial Drama Festival. Shortly afterward, we had created the Provincial Drama Academy, and of course, the Stephenville Theatre Festival. We were consistently asked, why Newfoundland? And while I must admit I asked myself that very question many times over, the realization soon bestowed upon me the potential that this unique area provided. I began to reshape the question to, why not? Why not Newfoundland? Why not Stephenville? Art, like dreams, allows us to escape the brutal realities of life, no matter who the audience is. I believe that everyone should have access to the arts, regardless of where they live. An artist is constantly challenging themselves, continually mastering their craft. Many times, the artist wants to try something new. Other times, they just want to do something bigger and better. Cheryl, has anyone ever told you that you look like Meryl Streep? Of course not. You put her to shame.
What do you want, Maxim?
This is our time, our biggest season yet.
And what exactly did you have in mind?
8 shows. La Mancha, followed by Hamlet, Superstar, Cyrano, and Godspell. Finishing with Dreamcoat, earnest, and inspiring the audience with John Gilpin in Invitation to the Dance. A magical season, darling. Cheryl, I know you understand.
I know. I trust your vision for what this festival can be, but we're constantly having to prove ourselves. You know as well as I do how hard it is for us to get support.
With this season, what will be impossible to ignore.
You know how hard you're making my life right now, don't you? We're not Stratford, Maxim.
Yet. I've seen you do remarkable things, darling, and I know this will work. Cheryl, my general manager. She's a passionate, energetic, and intelligent woman, and a force to be reckoned with, known as Mother Goddamn. If something wasn't right, she would tell us. Cheryl was my very best friend, and I trusted her with my life. In the first few years, we were met with a lot of resentment, being told a theatre festival would never work in Stephenville. There was a whole movement to have our funding cut because we were focusing on classical and musical theatre and not Newfoundland stories. Cheryl was on the front lines. Defending our little festival became normal for her. She believed in this as much as I did. Mark my words, without Cheryl Stagg, I could have never achieved what I did in Stephenville.
Jack, we really need your support even more this season.
Cheryl, I'm going to stop you right there. Your festival is lucky to have lasted 7 seasons. I mean, I've said this before, this type of theater is a hard sell in Stephenville, and I'd much rather support groups with a larger surrounding population.
You know what your problem really is, Jack? You don't know how to think outside of the box.
Hello, John. Yes, this is Maxim. How are you feeling, friend? Oh, that's fantastic to hear. Well, since we last spoke, exciting things have been happening around here.
I know you're in rough shape since the surgery, my friend, but listen to me. This play, it's you. I'll have you dancing again, mark my words. I need you here. You will bring the people. Our little festival saw the likes of Gordon Pinsent, Eric Bentley, Tom Kerr, and of course, John Gilpin. Mr. Gilpin was not only a world-renowned dancer, but also a very good friend of mine. I loved him dearly. My play, Invitation to the Dance, was inspired by watching him perform with the Ballet Concierto de Madrid in June of 1978. Certainly, having him perform here in Stephenville would be a great achievement in my career. John Gilpin is confirmed. Darling, we're off to a good start. What's wrong? Cheryl?
We're not going to get our art support this year. Without that, we won't have the funds to make your season happen.
They can't do that.
They can, and they just did. As of right now, our budget is $40,000. And our overhead this season is already looking like it's going to be about $80,000. It's just not possible.
What a beautiful song there. Again, tonight's broadcast was recorded live in Toronto at the Roy Thompson Hall as a De Maurier Cigarettes sponsored production.
Cheryl! Cheryl! Cheryl!
Maxim, do you have any idea what time it is?
Yes, darling, don't worry about that. I know how we can make this season work.
All right, Maxim, let's hear it.
Corporate sponsors. I'll convince the airline to send you to Toronto and Montreal.
I don't think I can raise that much money by myself. Maxim, we have to be realistic.
Our situation is only reality if we allow it.
Okay. I'll go on the road. But you're going to have to find a way to cut some of the costs for this season.
We'll try, but we cannot cheapen our product.
Not cheaper, just less expensive. Is it possible to maybe cut down the cast size? Maybe you could direct a few more of the shows, make the sets less elaborate, smaller. And you're going to have to cut rehearsal time. 2 weeks at most.
Cheryl, darling.
Don't Cheryl darling me, you have 2 weeks. Get some sleep, Maxim. And you should have that cough checked out.
Good morning, Miss Stagg.
Miss Moore, thank you for meeting with me today.
You're welcome. Cheryl, was that you? So, what can I do for you?
I'm with the Stephenville Theatre Festival in Newfoundland.
Newfoundland? Oh, I actually have family in Newfoundland. It's a wonderful province, nice people.
Yes, well, we do have a reputation. We also have a reputation for being great storytellers, and that's why I'm here. We're preparing for our biggest season to date, and we actually just booked John Gilpin to our lineup.
Oh, that's very impressive.
I had the opportunity to look over your annual reports, and I noticed that 4% in funding had been allocated to the arts. And I was wondering if our festival could be considered for a sponsorship.
Well, the downside for you is that we generally direct our sponsorships to larger population centres where we get better exposure. Newfoundland is such a small province. I'm not sure this would be a good investment of our money.
Yes, well, we do have a small population, but our artistic director, Maxim Mazumdar, has quite the following worldwide. Because of him, we've gained notoriety, and Stephenville has become quite the tourist location. We'll make sure that your company's name is in all of our promotional material that we distribute across North America.
Well, the advantage to you is that you've come for this face-to-face meeting. Most of our applications come in through the mail. This way, I've been able to pick up on the enthusiasm that you have for this project. So I'm going to recommend to our committee that we give this a chance.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And Cheryl, I know how hard this is when you start out. Stay focused and don't stray from your vision.
Thank you.
Corporate sponsors for theatre were not commonplace in Newfoundland at the time, but it certainly kept our little festival alive. Between financial sponsorships and in-kind donations, our resourcefulness allowed us to continue. Oh, Cheryl, I'm so happy to see you. Glad to know that Toronto went well.
Hey, Jerry, bye. How you doing?
Those theater crowd back in town. Grown men dressing up like children. Boys needs to get a life. It's time to grow up and get a job.
Yes, my son wanted to go to that theater school, And Jean, right, she was all for it. So I said, Jean, there's no way that my son's going to that theater school. Jerry, when's council going to get rid of him?
I'm working on it. But the mayor loves them. Thinks they're gonna bring life to the community or something.
Cheryl?
It's from the East Coast Arts Agency. We were rejected.
Rejected? Well, we haven't started with Dreamcoat or Ernest yet. I'll cut it from the lineup.
No, I'll book a meeting with the council. Mayor Walsh has always been a big supporter.
What if they can't?
We'll budget a loss? Maxim, this is an important season. We need this. Stephenville needs this.
Well, what says this jury?
You know, I think I know what this contains. The history of your mad night, as much as is written. Read as well. Read as well. Shit. Read as well there as you do here, and you won't die.
Okay, take 10. We open in a few days, and we're not ready. Do you understand the implication that this season holds on all of us? Oh, and Jeffrey, always remember the first rule in theater. Never forget the last line of the play!
Maxim!
Not now, Cheryl! I have work to do!
Maxim, why do you work so hard?
Because I don't have much time. Maybe this was a mistake. It can't work.
It can and it will. The town is willing to meet with us on Thursday.
What are we doing here today anyway?
Cheryl called and asked if we would meet with her and Maxim Mazumdar.
Do you have something to say, Councillor Alexander?
What's there to say? I'd rather be meeting about something that this town really needs.
We are elected officials doing our job.
Oh, come on. You can't tell me you feel comfortable supporting this group. This is not a good use of taxpayers' dollars.
Councillor Alexander, this chamber is a place where we treat everyone with respect. Cheryl, Maxim, please come in. We're very happy to have you here.
Thank you for seeing us today. We've asked for this meeting to request $20,000 in funding from the town to support this year's theater festival. As you all know, the Stephenville Theatre Festival has been an integral part of this town for a number of years. We've helped in bringing in thousands of dollars that have been spent in our hotels, restaurants, and many other establishments. We've provided work opportunities for many people while shining a spotlight on this town. None of this would have been possible without Maxim's vision.
When I first arrived to Stephenville, I saw fantastic potential. A beautiful theater sitting empty, just wanting to be played with. People in this area wanting to experience something new. And artists of all kinds crying to be heard. This festival has not only the potential to increase tourism in our town, but it also gives deserving artists the opportunity to master their craft. Because theater is a craft, as valuable in its own way as any basic function in life. It enhances the quality of our awareness, and it makes us appreciate being alive. The lively arts are a reaffirmation of that timeless need in men. The need to laugh, to think, to cry. We are not grown men playing dress up. We are valuable contributors to this area, and we have the potential to make a difference in the lives of the people within it. And studies have shown that children who are exposed to the arts are more likely to become better citizens, community leaders, and more respectful to people with differences.
Thank you, Maxim. Very well said. I believe that this festival is good for Stephenville and the province. Our town needs Stephenville Theatre Festival. I just hope that ignorance doesn't affect the decision made here today. All those in favor of providing Stephenville Theatre Festival with a $20,000 operating grant, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Full house. They loved the first act. Sold out for the next 2 weeks.
It would all mean nothing without you, darling.
You're a lot like him, you know. Don Quixote. A dreamer. Never accept reality, Maxim.
Cheryl? Thank you.
Two minutes, Quixote.
I would only be around for a few more seasons before my life's final curtain call. I lived my life as an artist. I provided laughter, tears, emotion, and thoughts into the lives of thousands. I put my heart and soul into everything I created, and I never stopped thinking about what I could tell next. This applies to every artist. We do not do this for financial gain nor for fame. This desire to create is something we can't explain, but something we know is embedded into our souls. We always attempt to create some sort of emotion within all of you. Our days are not 9 to 5, and we do not know what weekends are. And we continue to live out our lives as dreamers, because for us, the impossible is possible.